because one of the biggest stories in the NHL this week was the passing of Eugene Melnyk, owner of the Ottawa Senators. First off, we of course pass our condolences off to the family. He has two young daughters. I think one of them is like a year older than me. And the other one I think is a little younger. So incredibly young. I think he was 63 when it happened. It's very strange to talk about Eugene Melnyk, and there is a tremendous article in The Athletic by Ian Mendes right now talking about the complicated sort of legacy of Eugene Melnyk, about how he came in the early 2000s, he saved the team, but from like 2017 onwards in that outdoor game to his passing, Melnyk out is almost sort of how I remember Eugene Melnyk. I don't know if that's fair, but that's kind of how you look at his legacy almost.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, a lot of that has to do with what have you done for me now? Or what have you, a lot of recency bias. Obviously, like, I mean, I'm probably not the only one, but I think we very much have been heavily critical of Eugene Melnyk on the show. And I mean, in my, I think rightly so. I don't think we've attacked him as a person. I don't think we've ever really gone that far. But like, yeah, everything I probably would have said on today's episode, Ian Mendes said 100,000 times better than me. What I will say, just to before Daniel, I send it to you. I'm not a fan of what's been going on with this Quebec City stuff. Like I'm listen, we've talked about Quebec City. Do they deserve a team? 1,000%. Not the time. Not like I get it. Not the time to bring it up.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we use the term polarizing, I think of Eugene Melnyk, where a lot what Alex said about the recency bias of what was going on with the team, what the approach of the rebuild was looking like, what they were going to do in terms of taking the next step, or how are they keeping talent on the team. But again, like what Ian Mendes mentioned at articles, is we have to remember that he was the guy that kept the Senators in Ottawa, that he was willing to kind of stabilize everything that was going on with this team and try to build something there. And, you know, we look back on, I guess, a big highlight of it is that, 2016, they almost beat the Penguins.
17,
my apologies. They almost beat the Penguins. That team looked like there was a lot of promise there. And I think from just that point onwards, that's when things did get messy. The whole Erik Karlsson situation. We had the Daniel Alfredsson situation, and
both of the Alfredsson situations. And it's just kind of like an interesting thing to look at, like what the culture of the team was. But again, like the team is there. Like I guess what he leaves behind with his legacy here is that, they did stockpile talent as of right now. And I don't know how to say it, because I admit, like we didn't criticize the man, we criticized the decisions. Yeah, first off, one thing I really want to make clear here is like a lot has been talked about right now about the situation with his daughters and how ownership may shape out, and the pressure that may be on them. Are they going to sell or that? One thing that we have to remember here in talking about Eugene as a person is like, I mentioned when the Evander Kane thing happened that like I didn't like the dirty laundry in public, because one day your kid's going to grow up and see that. I think people need to be sensitive that two daughters have just lost their father. One thing I want to shout out there. And with Eugene, it was always that you can respect how he was never afraid to say what was on his mind. And that sort of incident in 2017 at the outdoor game where he said, maybe we're going to move the team if people don't start showing up. That's him speaking out loud. We know that he was looking for the Sens to play in this, I don't think it was in the States, but outside of Ottawa. I think it was.
No, it was in the States. It was in the States.
And all that. The Breton Flat situation wasn't great. But the man was a character in a sense. And in a way, I felt like it's good for the sport to have those characters. Is there going to be was there criticism of the financial things of, oh, we're going to spend this amount of money, and that weird video of Mark Borowecki? Yes. There's just so many chapters in the story of Eugene Melnyk. And it's going to be a complicated sort of way to always look at his life and his time as Sens GM, but man, it's so complicated to look at. He wasn't like all a bad guy. Like Ian Mendes talks about, when Melnyk talked to him about what was happening with Ian's daughter. And Erik Karlsson said the other day when his kids were born that the organization sent flowers. And like, we all know it didn't end well with Erik Karlsson in that. But it's so difficult to sort of really talk about this. We can look at the ownership situation. I do believe that right now, Gary Bettman has stated that things are going to stay as they are right now in Ottawa. There might be some sort of governing body coming in because you can't expect two young women to, not saying because they're women, they're our age.
They're young. Yeah.
No, I think Bruce Garriock has said one of his daughters has interned in every area of the organization. That's all well and good, but running a multi-million-dollar organization is more than just interning at different spots, right? But it seems to be, at least what the NHL are saying, is that the Sens are staying in Ottawa, which I'm not surprised by. It feels like they fought for Ottawa in the past. I know we've given them grief about fighting for Arizona, but I think they've always sort of been supportive of the Sens staying there. I don't think they've loved Eugene being as vocal as he has been, but...
And I mean, would you guys not agree it's the right move? Like, it's the right move to keep them in Ottawa. There's clearly something there. It's just, it's not the whole thing. And my thing a lot of the times is, and similar with Arizona, the arena is not in the right place.
Indeed. Yeah, exactly.
Like, if the arena was closer to the city of Ottawa and not in Canada, like, we're having a different conversation about this team. Like, I genuinely believe if that arena wasn't in kind of in the middle of nowhere, that 2017 Eastern Conference Finals, it's packed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You look at what's Gary Bettman saying? The only way we ever move a team is if no one's willing to buy them. Someone would buy the Sens if Eugene's estate sort of decides to sell the team. We know there's been offers made to them before. Apparently, they've just been sort of lowball offers. And I mean, you got to look at some of the expansion prices the past couple of years. That price isn't. I don't think the Sens are going to be sold for $1 billion or anything, but it's going to be higher past 500 million probably at least. So I'm no sort of businessman, but I don't think Gary Bettman's going to allow for anything like that to sort of happen. It's weird to say that, but like, if you give credit to Gary Bettman for one thing, is that the man is stubborn to move franchises, and that may work for the Sens here. Like, the nation's capital should have a team. Like, the moment I saw this is it's almost a testament to Eugene Melnyk. Is when you first see the news, I think we were all very shocked, and then the questions started hitting you, and right away I thought, now actually sort of touched on it. I it's going to be disgusting, but that there are people who have been pitching for the Nordiques to come back are going to be circling here. And like, listen, if you want to be interested in buying the team, there's nothing wrong with that, but just have some emotional intelligence. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, pitch it.
Integrity, basically, yeah.
Pitch it, go ahead. But I'm not I know it's been 2 days. You're telling me a pitch has been made in 2 days? Like, I think the media's suggestion of Quebec City is my issue. I mean, like, yeah, I guess do whatever the hell you want, pitch it to the NHL. I just think it's been 2 days, and now you're going to go public with, hey, Quebec City, is not a good look in my eyes. It's
So
not. It's not what I would
do that because I didn't see any of that yet. So what? So they've again. What? So like that ownership.
Well,
is what there was a consortium or something.
I
before,
I saw today or yesterday was that the NHL was talking to Quebec about playing 5 regular season games in Quebec City, or 5 games. I don't remember if it was
Really?
preseason. It was playing 5 games as the Senators in Quebec City.
Okay.
Okay, cool. But did you really have to report it 2 days after? Like, it just, to me, I get it. It's news. It just seems a little insensitive.
Well, what's the sorry to be morbid here, but let the body get cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find the article, but you guys keep going.
Yeah, that's just we all want the Nordiques to come back, Daniel, but just a bit of respect to the family.
Yeah, I think so. I think for the most part, like a lot of the, more trusted sports media have been really good with this. I think it's just sometimes when it looks like you're just looking for another story to look at, looking at another opportunity to kind of really look at what's another thing that's going to destabilize the Sens and kind of pile on things and say, it's time to move. It's time to realize that the situation is not ideal here anymore. And the guy that was adamant on kind of keeping it there is not here anymore. But again, they're just choosing the wrong story at this point. This is something that they should not be talking about. And for me, frankly, like it's a very low level of integrity.
Mm-hmm. Have you found it, Alex? Or
so this is from a Sportsnet article from today. So who is this man? Who is Gerard? Where did he go? Quebec's finance minister, Eric Girard, had said that the possibility of Quebec City hosting some Senators games was brought up during a January meeting he had with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. He said both sides had expressed an interest in the idea, but at this stage is preliminary. The comments came on the heels of a more expansive report by Dennis Lessard of La Presse that said preliminary talks took place involving Quebec's provincial government, the National Hockey League, and the Senators about the possibility of the team playing 5 NHL games at the set at where is
Videotron
this?
Center?
Yeah. But the report came out today.
It's interesting because we've heard there's been a few whispers of meetings between the league and the Quebec, and then Bettman's been like, there's nothing to it. We're not interested right now. But I think we all kind of knew if there was ever a chance of Quebec coming back, it had to be the Sens moving. That's interesting. That's interesting. We'll see. That's not great timing for anyone sort of that getting out. Story to keep an eye on. Again, condolences to the family because this is just it's got to be really rough. I hope they're not paying too much attention to social media because it's like Eugene's dead, but the Sens, what's happening with them? That's what
right.
it's like. So that's just, it's crap.
It'd be the worst right now. Just, don't go on it.